Okay, in the last video we talked about how to combine like terms when simplifying a polynomial and how to add and subtract polynomials. And if you'd like more practice on that topic, come along and work on these 3 example problems with me. If you feel like you're doing great at this, you can skip this video and move on to the next one. Alright, let's look at this example. I've got 2 polynomials, both of them grouped into parentheses, and the first thing I want to check is, can I do anything inside the parentheses? Can I simplify anything by combining like terms? And no, I can't, because none of these are like terms. This is x to the 3rd power, x squared, no x, x cubed, plain x, no x. Nothing inside here can get combined, nothing inside here. Then I look in front of the parentheses. There's nothing in front of this parentheses, so I can just take it off. There's a plus sign in front of this parenthesis, so I can just take it off. Nothing will change when I take off the parentheses. So here goes. 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 5 plus x cubed plus 2x minus 7. Now I'm going to take my markers. It is nice to have some different colors handy so that as you gather the like terms, you can collect the ones that are like all with the same color. So I'm going to start with 3x cubed. Let's see, are there any other x cubes? Yes, there's one here. And remember, when it's a bare naked variable, you can always sneak a 1 in front of it. So I'm going to circle these 2, and there's nothing in front of this one, so I don't have to worry about circling what's in front of it. But watch what I do here. Circle the operation symbol in front so you can see the sign of the number when you're combining it with the other one. So I have 3x cubed and 1x cubed. That's 4x cubed. Okay? Done with those 2. Now let's look at the next one. Minus 4x squared. No other x squared, so I'm just going to write that one down just as I see it with that minus sign in front of it and just lightly cross it off. Alright, next I have a plain number. So since there's another plain number here, again watch how I circle these with the plus sign in front of it and this one with the minus sign in front of it. Positive 5 minus 7. I'm adding these 2 together, or I can think of it as positive 5 subtract 7. Positive 5 add a negative 7, or positive 5 subtract 7. Both ways of thinking give me a negative 2. So I write subtract 2. It means the same thing. And lightly cross those off. And finally, all I have left is plus 2x. There's no one to combine him with, and I'm done. This is as short or as condensed as this expression can go, because everybody in here is different from everyone else. No one has the same variable to the same power. Now let's take a look at the next example. This one gets a little more difficult because in front of this first pair of parentheses I have a minus sign. In front of this one there's a plus sign, so that's not going to be a problem. So go ahead and take a second to copy it down. The opposite of parentheses 4x plus 10, close them, plus parentheses negative 2x squared plus 6x minus 4. Okay, so as I mentioned, because there's a minus sign in front of this parentheses, it's like you have to distribute that subtraction to both things inside. So when I take off these parentheses, because I can't do anything with what's inside, I need to write minus 4x, because it needs to turn negative or get subtracted. And I also need to write minus 10. Turn the addition to subtraction because of the sign out front. Again, when I take this one off, though, because it's a plus sign, nobody changes. I just write them down as I see them, but now without the parentheses. Alright, then I pick up my colors, and I look at my first term, negative 4x, so a plain x, looking for another term like that, and there it is. So watch as I circle that negative sign in front of the 4x and the plus sign in front of the 6x, so that I know I'm adding a negative 4 and a positive 6. Negative 4 plus 6 is positive 2. Don't forget the x. Lightly cross them out. Next I have a plain number, and I'm going to think of it as negative 10. Circle that negative sign in front of it. And I have another plain number here. It's negative 4. When I add two negative numbers together, the answer stays negative. I've got at negative 10, and I subtract 4 more, or go negative 4 more. That makes negative 14. And I just write subtract 14. Alright, that leaves me, I can cross those off lightly. That leaves me plus a negative 2x squared. Or I could just write subtract 2x squared if I want to make it simpler. And we're done. That's as short or condensed as that expression can get. Alright, let's take a look at one more, see if we can make things a little more complicated yet. This polynomial and this one have lots of a's and b's in them. So we're really going to have to keep our eye open for which ones are like terms and which ones are not. We also have to look in front of any parentheses before we take them off. Oh, by the way, can we combine anything in the parentheses? Nope, nope, nope. All different terms inside. Alright, in front of this parentheses there's nothing. So I'm just going to take it off and rewrite the terms just as I see them. 5ab plus 6a squared minus 3b squared. Be careful on this one though. With the minus sign out front, that means it needs to get distributed to both things inside. They both want to get subtracted. So I go minus 10ab and minus, subtract, don't add the 2. Turn it to the opposite sign. Alright, and this parentheses has a plus sign in front of it, so that doesn't change anybody inside. So I write 4a squared minus b squared. Okay, grab your colors, and let's start with the first term. Are there any other AB's? Plain A, or a to the first power, plain B being multiplied. And yes, we have one right here. Alright, so I circle my 5AB, and I circle minus, don't forget the minus sign in front of it, minus 10AB. 5 minus 10, or you can think of it as 5 plus a negative 10. Since the negative number is bigger, the answer will be also negative. So I get negative 5, but don't forget the AB. Lightly cross them off. Let's look at the next one. A squared. Any other a squareds? Yes, right there. So I can combine a positive 6a squared and a positive 4a squared to get plus 10a squared. Now notice as I'm combining these like terms, the exponents don't change. You are combining some a squareds here with some a squareds here. It stays a squared. It's like adding 6 apples here and 4 apples here. It's 10 and it's still apples. They don't change. Okay? The variable does not change and the exponent does not. Alright, I've got a third color here for my b squared because I see I have one here and one here. So we got a minus 3b squared. Again, don't forget to circle that sign in front of it, that operation symbol. And a minus b squared, and also remember I can put a 1 right in front of that b so I remember what it is I'm adding. It's not a 0, it's a 1. So I've got a negative 3 and a negative 1 b squared. So that's negative 4, or subtract 4b squared. Let's see, I forgot to cross those off. And that just leaves me one term left, and that is subtract 2, or add a negative 2. And I'm lazy, so I just write subtract 2. So this huge expression that if someone came along and told us what a and b are, it would take us a long time to plug those numbers into this one. But it wouldn't take long at all to plug it into this one. This is why we simplify expressions.